Hey everyone, it's Ethan or Miist back again for another video today, and welcome back to the channel, guys. We're here again for yet another video. Back again with every movie I watched last week, and I had a pretty solid week. I watched about 15 movies last week, and really checked off one of my goals of the year, which I'm glad about, which was actually watching the Purge movies, which is one of the themes of the week, alongside with a lot of movies starting with "the" in the title, and a lot of newer movies. Actually, yeah. So let's get right into it and let's talk about it. My least favorite movie of the week, which is a brand new movie, the newest movie actually on this list, 2025's The Monkey, which I had an absolutely awful time with. I'm going to go see this with some friends, and none of us enjoyed it, but I enjoyed it the least, and I really hated this movie. It was hard to sit through at only like 97 minutes. It was literally one of the most painfully enduring theater experiences I've ever had, because I felt so forced to sit there and actually finish the movie. And I paid for the movie. I'm going to sit there and finish it. I'm not the type to walk out of the theater, but I genuinely actually thought about walking out of the theater in this movie, so I really didn't enjoy this movie. And so far, over the past 2 years with Longlegs and The Monkey, I do not like Osgood Perkins as a director, so nothing against him. I just don't like his movies, clearly. So, anyways, let's move on to one of the themes of the week as well, which was Shark Week. I watched Meg 2, and I should have actually done like a Shark Week, which would have been funny with like Jaws, The Meg, that fucking French movie that came out on Netflix last year. I don't remember the name of. Anyways, Meg 2, The Trench. All I put in my review was Jurassic Shark Week, because this is literally a Jurassic Park and a shark movie, which the opening scene honestly was the only good part of this movie. The rest of the movie was kind of shit, and henceforth the 33 out of 100. But I would be lying if I said I didn't love Jason Statham and pretty much everything he's in, so that kind of helps as well. Anyways, let's move on to The Purge, which I actually watched in timeline order, and funnily enough, my rankings almost go in timeline order. Almost. It moves around a little bit, but yeah, I watched the first Purge, starting with the first Purge, of course, like I said, in timeline order, which I've never done, and I did not enjoy this movie at all. 37 out of 100. It was hard to watch. It was hard to sit through. It was brutal. Moving on to The Purge, which the first Purge was the only one that I've not seen. Every other Purge I have seen at one point or another, and some of them I even have ranked. But The Purge, I also didn't enjoy. I lowered the ranking from a 61 down to a 43, so it's gone down quite a lot, obviously. And one thing that really sucks about this entire franchise is how cool this idea is. I feel like there could be some really awesome moments, and I just don't see those moments. There's just not a lot of cool things in this franchise, except for the costume designs, really. I'd say that's about the only, and the idea, of course, of The Purge. Those are really the only good things about this movie, in my opinion, or about this franchise, I should say. So, yeah, The Purge, 43 out of 100. Ethan Hawke, I guess. Other than that, I really struggle to find positives for any of these movies. Alright, let's move on to The Forever Purge, and this one went down a lot. This one went down from a 74 down to a 50. I remember really enjoying this a few years ago when I watched the Purge movies. I'd watched 3 of them, and this was one of them, and I really enjoyed it. Which, one of my goals for next year, I think, is going to be to rewatch some of the movies that I watched in 2022 and 2023 when I started ranking movies, because some of those rankings are super faded. Like this, for example, there's a lot of movies that I think are really high and way higher than they should be, because I just started ranking movies. So, anyways, The Forever Purge, 50 out of 100. Bye. Moving on to another 2025 release, which is The Gorge. For a little while throughout the start of this movie, I was actually enjoying myself and having a good time with it, and then our two leads actually met, and the movie just kind of went downhill from there, and I just didn't enjoy it. But just like every dystopian movie, there's this sketchy leader that's doing something that our leads are going to change. Anyways, it was fine. I ranked it a 51 out of 100. It was okay. Moving on to The Purge Election Year, which I know is kind of got a bit of a cult following. I feel like this is a lot of people's favorite Purge movie, and at times this definitely was, but this is also just, again, excruciatingly hard to sit through. And at this point, this was the second last Purge movie, and I had watched all 5 Purge movies in, I think, 3 days or 2 days, and I was really just struggling to sit through them by the end of it. I just was so annoyed by these brutal movies. They were just hard to sit through, and I really didn't enjoy them. So, Election Year, 52 out of 100. Awesome, I guess. Let's move on to what is my favorite Purge movie, which was Purge Anarchy, which I ranked a 56 out of 100, and I actually lowered it from a 68 down to a 56 out of 100. Really, a lot of these points just come from Frank Grillo, and I actually enjoyed the ending, but a lot of this movie, again, we get a lot of side characters in each movie that I just don't care about and that are annoying, and that's kind of the more of the same in this movie. But we had some pretty awesome moments in this movie as well, in my opinion. But yeah, 56 out of 100. Let's move on to The Meg, which I ranked a 60 out of 100, and actually enjoyed this a lot more than I thought I was going to, because I've seen the average rankings, and I've seen a lot of people say that this is a great movie, this is an awful movie, and ranking it a 60 out of 100 is honestly kind of a win, because I really didn't have high expectations heading into this movie, but I had a decent time with it, and it was entertaining for sure. Jason Statham fighting a megalodon is obviously awesome. And again, like I said earlier, it kind of, in my eyes, Jason Statham can't really do any wrong, and I quite like Jason Statham, so 60 out of 100 for The Meg. Let's move on to a little bit of the Oscar season, starting with The Apprentice, a 65 out of 100. Really wanted to get this off my watch list because we had actor in a supporting role for Jeremy Strong, and then actor in a lead role for Sebastian Stan, both from this movie. Although I didn't love Sebastian Stan, he wasn't my favorite part of the movie, truthfully, or his portrayal of Donald Trump. Truthfully, it was Jeremy Strong as Ray Cohn. Jeremy Strong was absolutely amazing, and in my eyes, he should have been the winner for actor in a supporting role. Now, we'll talk about that later this week. I think I'm going to make a video talking about the Oscars, but overall, this is a pretty decent movie, and it was nice to see the very slow transition of Donald Trump and Sebastian Stan really evolving into the Donald Trump that we know now. So, yeah, 65 out of 100. Let's move on to yet another Oscar buzz movie, which is Sing Sing, which I ranked an 80 out of 100. This was a very raw and impactful movie that, truthfully, I don't think I'm giving enough credit with my rating, because I would really like to rewatch this movie. This movie felt very real and emotional, and taken with such good care, and I just really want to rewatch this movie. And honestly, Coleman Domingo, low-key, was really becoming one of my favorites for actor in a leading role. So, it would have been nice to see that, I guess, but nonetheless, I'm really happy I was able to watch this last week, and again, like I said, this is a movie I want to rewatch, so shout out to Sing Sing, which I ranked an 80 out of 100. Let's move on to the only movie that's older than 2013 in this list, which is My Cousin Vinny. One of my goals of the year is to watch a 90s movie. I really needed a 90s movie. I told Mel to choose one for me. She ended up choosing My Cousin Vinny, and I think she actually should have watched it with me, because I think she would have really enjoyed it. And this was a really funny movie, genuinely comedic genius with an awesome lead in Joe Pesci, of course, and Marissa Tomei was absolutely hilarious and amazing throughout this as well, and I had an absolute blast with this movie, laughing, genuine laughs a lot of this movie, and overall, it was just an interesting courtroom comedy, I guess. So, let's move on to the top 3, which are some pretty big movies. We have, starting it off with Dune, which I ranked a 97 out of 100. It actually went down in my rankings from a 99 down to a 97, which I was kind of surprised about. I honestly wasn't really sure what to expect heading into this rewatch. This is only the second time I'm watching the Dune movies, and I watched them a year ago last week as well, funnily enough. So, again, it was nice to actually revisit these because I really didn't know what to expect on rewatch, and I definitely had a good time with this movie again. But like I said, I lowered the ranking from 99 to 97. Mostly, this is an achievement in filmmaking, but sometimes I do feel like it's a little slow, and it loses a little bit of points for that. But mostly, this is obviously just a fantastic and amazing movie. And similarly, moving on to Dune Part 2, which at the time, I really didn't know which one I liked more. I definitely have a clear winner now, which is Dune Part 2. It's honestly much better, even though there's only a 2-point differential. This one did not change ranking. It's still a 99 out of 100 for me. But Dune Part 2 really is wonderful. And it's, truthfully, I think it might be technically one of the best movies I've ever seen. It's absolutely incredible, and I really noticed a difference rewatching it this year, where I always kind of felt a little on edge about my 99 rankings for both of them. This one definitely deserved that ranking on rewatch, so I'm glad I was able to rewatch it. Plus, I got to show some friends these two movies, which was nice. Anyways, let's move on to number 1, which is Wicked. Once again, at a 99 out of 100. Not quite at that 100 out of 100 yet. I don't know if it's going to make it. Maybe. This is like mine and Mel's movie, which I'm very thankful for, that we really found that movie together. This is our movie, and we ended up getting to show my mom, who was home from Ontario last week, which she also enjoyed it. So yeah, that was a positive, and I'm glad we were able to do that. Now, with that being said, that's going to be everything for today's video. Let me know what your guys' thoughts on some of the movies were. Let me know your thoughts on the Oscars. Like I said, I think I'm going to make a video about it later this week, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye-bye.